Hi, and welcome to another episode of Bespoke Architects Daily Pinup. I'm Nicole Walters, Director of Bespoke Architects, and I'm about to show you what inspiring images made our Pinterest boards today. Now, we left it a day from episode 42 until we recommenced episode 43, thinking perhaps we had in fact answered the universe's ultimate question, but 42 did not appear to be the ultimate answer. So here we find ourselves in episode 43. And it was, can I just say, a bit more exciting than even episode 42. So let's hope that the ultimate answer is still out there and a long way away numerically, so we can keep exploring all these wonderful and inspiring architectural images. There was a lot of really amazing houses. I do have 2 days worth of content to share with you today, so I will try to keep it short. Let's start with the water house. Now, this particular house just uses concrete extraordinarily. This is the image that caught my eye yesterday when I first saw this article, and I really liked the simplicity, the very horizontalness of it, the fact that it cantilevers out over water and there's this beautiful warm light emanating from it. I mean, it's a really beautifully captured image and it really sells this house well. And then we look on the inside, and what I really liked about it was the continuity. Obviously, I'm a big fan of continuity, but we can see here that we've got this beautiful staircase. It's an open concrete tread style of stair with this simple glass balustrade. No handrail, nothing, just sheets of glass. I mean, it's elegant in its simplicity. And then we can see this warm LED strip lighting as a shadow line coming out from the shadow line that's created in between the ceiling and the wall finishes. So I really liked that, and I suspect that is why we're getting this beautiful glow on this image here to the right of that. I also pinned their kitchen island bench because it is just extraordinary in its design and use of material. And what I really liked about this bathroom, not only was the layout, so we have that wet room concept where we have the shower and the bath together behind glass, but the beautiful concrete vanity that sort of pours away, and then even the use of a ghost chair to sort of sit at it and even apply your makeup. I just thought it was beautiful. And you can see it truly is a wet room. You can see in the reflection of the mirror there is in fact a shower door that really closes that wet room space off to the vanity area. So I thought that was a really well-refined design and worthy of comment definitely on this channel. The article on architecture for flooding, I really like this image. Again, we're seeing a cantilevered image where the whole house is above the waterline, assumably, and we just have these stairs. But what really caught my eye was these really strong vertical elements in that design. There is a cantilevered balcony here we can see at the front, and then the more solid structure of the house beyond that. But I really did enjoy that. Vicky's Place, I really liked the use of plywood throughout that. It was this image here, again, sort of we've got a cantilevered form, we've got those timber screens, we've got the concrete in the material palette as well. So it was, you know, something that was going to appeal to my aesthetic. And then when we dive into the project, we find these extraordinary sort of cantilevered stairs that are integrated in with that timber screening to lead you into the dwelling. And then, like I say, the use of plywood throughout, I really liked this kitchen. It's very, very simple in its design. It's just plywood boxes and stainless steel bench and splashback, so I really enjoyed that. I really liked the way the doors were done. We can see they're just a sliding door. We can see the material, floor finish material spans out that space. And we can see we've got exposed ceiling joists here, and we've just suspended the walls, and the doors, you know, are suspended off that. So even with the doors shut, you are going to get light and noise transfer between rooms, but I quite like the quirkiness of that detail. I also liked the quirkiness of their just plain copper plumbing. I mean, this is a project that really pared it back, and they've used a cement sheet product here, unfinished, as their bathroom sort of general sheeting, and then we get into the shower and we can see that they've used that same mosaic tile that we saw here on the floor all the way through that shower, and again the exposed copper piping and the simple frameless glass shower screen. So I really liked that particular use of material. Another one that was creative with its use of plywood and joinery was this particular little project. I really loved the way they'd created these interesting shelving solutions up at sort of that mezzanine level. There is a netted mezzanine above this, and there's a solid floor here. And we can see they've sort of built in the joinery. We've got this freestanding fireplace and more joinery under that, but this really interesting sort of form ply solution to shelving. I really like that, and the way that it's painted up to that line, and then we go back to a sort of a more raw material look there. I pinned a lot of translucent materials. I don't know what the appeal is, maybe because it is getting so dark here now. I did struggle when I was out on site yesterday taking photos as it was getting dark so early. So I really did pin a lot of translucent materials just as a building fabric, because I do really find them attractive. So that's why that one's on the board. Again, on a material front, this particular apartment fit out, I love a suspended fireplace, as we all know, but then the use of this marble, and it's actually doors. If you zoom in on that image, you'll see the door handles in there, but it's just stunning, that use of green against the white and that suspended fireplace I really liked. And then they've carried that green up into the bathroom. At first I thought that may have been fake grass on the wall, which really got me excited, but it does in fact look like a mosaic tile, which is equally as exciting, but not quite as exciting as to see artificial grass wrapping up over a wall in that particular instance. Would have been awesome. But still love this. And then the stairs obviously leading down. I pinned from this project, I really liked that sort of white staircase. So it is a timber stair with a white sort of lime wash over top of it. They've left the warmth of the timber exposed in the handrail and the beams above, and they've got that beautiful sort of vertical slimline balustrade leading just from the stair tread up into the mezzanine, and then we can see at the mezzanine level it's actually a solid wall. So a really beautiful staircase and worthy of the board. Some more facades that really caught my eye. I really liked the use of material, colour, sort of the spacing, and the screening, again with the timbers. It's very much something that appeals to me. The 3D of this facade is eye-catching. I really liked that. Again, the translucent material caught me there on that gable-ended image. Obviously, we're seeing that just prior to this one. This one's a more of a dusk shot or a different exposure. But again, the same principle. And then something just a little bit different. Still a translucent skin over top of a building, so it's actually a dual layer. And we can see more of a skeleton structure behind that, but I really did like it. Moving on from that, another staircase that caught my eye. There was a lot of staircases as well. So another staircase that caught my eye was this solid timber stair. And again, we can see the steel framework on either end of the stair, and then the balustrade reaching up from that. Again, the same as that white stair, we've just got the vertical posts, they're little posts forming the balustrade up the exposed side of that staircase. I really liked. And then this staircase also caught my eye. It's got, it doesn't do the full vertical, but it is a vertical and a mesh, and it's white steel. And I just really liked the way that the white framework was exposed and expressed in this stair, and the way it's quite a tall, narrow building, and the way they've integrated that staircase and that handrail into that space was really interesting. This particular building, it was the timber screening over those windows that I really enjoyed. These images here, it was the light fitting with the integration of indoor plants, something I'm personally not very successful at keeping alive, but I really do like this as a concept. I liked this one, this particular little house, for the use of screen and then the integration of the vertical garden within that facade. This image here, it's all about that facade, and I really like the way the architect has played with the heights of these solid versus translucent. There's a really lovely pattern to that in the facade, and it really catches your eye and contrasts interestingly with this sort of rounded, rendered form at the end of that wall there. Another project that had a really interesting bathroom was this one. You can see it's got a circular skylight. Check out that curtain rail, obviously taken down for this image, but I like it. The way the shampoo, I'm assuming a body wash, is sort of perched off the wall is really nice. It is a beautiful vanity, and here is a better shot of it here. And again, it appears to be that you can sort of hang that body wash or hand soap off of that. So I should imagine it feels like quite a small bathroom, but it's been shot really well, and it's really, I love a curved bathroom, and I thought this one was a great example. Another really interesting stair, this one is curved, and it's almost sculptural in the way that it appears. Just be mindful here in Australia that balustrade would be non-compliant and we would have to add something to it. But again, the form of it is just divine. The Wensley project I have seen before. It has featured on a video on YouTube probably 12 months ago. So it is a project that I am familiar with and love dearly the detailing in it. It's very rustic style of architecture. We can see here, this is a detail of their kitchen sink and that sort of organic brass tapware I'm really a fan of. Their joinery, we can see it's really solid and sturdy looking. I love the detailing they've done on their heating. Their in-floor heating has sort of that timber trench look to it, which I really like. And then the use of the outdoor bathtub, that's sort of that tin look with the sort of organic, again, copper outside. So I thought that was really lovely. The Warehouse by Wow Wow Wow. Again, great bold use of colour. I really liked the material palette for the kitchen. You can see the pinks and the browns playing off the bronzes there. Even the way that they've sort of run that fuchsia through that joinery unit is really lovely, and their choice of handle and the timber veneer I quite like. The bathroom, or the little ensuite here, is beautiful with that vanity unit and that sort of concrete look bath under the window and that pink tile. And you can see that that colour palette plays through to the joinery unit over here. And then I found this ironing board detail just exquisite. I really like that as a concept, so that's why that made the board. Another project that caught my eye was this little one. Or several projects that caught my eye, I should say, all sort of using timbers in their joinery elements. This one, it's the sort of that detail of the stainless steel, the softer stainless steel over top of that timber veneer, and their nice choice of handle. This kitchen here, we can see the LED strip lighting, which I always think is really important over a work area as a good additional piece of task lighting. They do have a window, obviously. I really like the Kit Kat tile that they've used in this kitchen, and that sink is lovely as well. This is an example of an integrated fridge. We can see it's also an integrated freezer on this side, and you can always tell from the air vents at the bottom in the kicker. I really liked this vanity unit. We were, as I mentioned, on site yesterday discussing a job, and the client did ask me about putting tapware through mirrors. Yes, that is definitely an option, and you just run the mirror down then to the vanity, and you have the counter mount basin on top of that. So the mirror is essentially acting as your splashback. So be mindful, a mirror is obviously going to show the grime possibly more than tiles will, but if you're a neat person and really like the simplicity of that detail, it is beautiful, and yes, it is possible. I really liked the sort of shelving unit at the end of this kitchen. It's contrasting. That's the same kitchen over here that we saw the detail of the bench, but it's a contrasting material. You know, the spacing of it's interesting. It was just a really interesting addition to the end of that kitchen. This kitchen, it was the choice of the splashback. This kitchen here, it was the materials, and I really liked or found interesting. They've sort of got an inbuilt wall oven under bench at this end, and then they've sort of emphasized that with this timber solid element at that end of the kitchen, sort of balancing, or maybe I should say that's a fireplace because that looks like a wall oven here. But it was the balance of those two things on the end of this kitchen that I really liked. And again, we can see there's an integrated fridge freezer. This is a view of that same kitchen looking the other way, and you can see there is an open shelf in the overhead portion as well above that kitchen sink. And that staircase again, and the integration between those spaces is really lovely. So we can see that the staircase, as we've talked about on other episodes, is acting as a light well, filtering light from top story down through this open tread, open screen scenario down to the floor below. This image here, again, it was the use of the window as the splashback that really caught my eye. And as I've mentioned lately, we are starting to see a real shift in the styling of kitchens back to really fine kitchen bench tops. Gone are the days of the really chunky material. We are seeing a strong turn back on the more contemporary styled kitchens, at least, to this really fine bench. This one, I really liked the use of the range hood just as a feature element, you know, that sort of cylindrical shape that really works well with the color palette of the rest of the kitchen. You know, it is an asymmetrical kitchen. It does have an integrated fridge. We saw it up here. Then assumably the pantry, the wall ovens, the window above the sink against the back wall, and then the cooktop here in this island bench. Excuse me. Excuse me. That was quite unlucky. I'm here on my own and we don't need to be concerned. I am fine. That was just a sneeze. And then finally, the last couple of kitchens that caught my eye. This one here, I really liked the look of, just the simplicity of it. I mean, when they style these as well for photo shoots, I really love the way that they introduce the flowers and the pot plants. It really is appealing to a kitchen space, but it was more that material palette again, the sort of the timber on the island bench, this open sort of shelving to the rear, the space for the stools. We can assume that is some storage facing outward. But then again, the subway tile on that sort of leads your eye up to that fixed shelf. It's just a really nice composition of a kitchen. And that was everything from the last 2 days. Maybe today's 43 will be the ultimate answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. With that, enjoy your weekend. I will see you on Monday for episode 44. Until then, take care. Thanks. Bye.